Well, good morning, everybody. This is Wednesday, 22nd of May. We're supposed to get a thunderstorm about 3 o'clock, and it's supposed to rain from then on, probably off and on through tomorrow. So I had some things I needed to do out here this morning before it rained. I want to dig the rest of the potatoes for one, if I can. And then I've got these two pots down here that I want to fix. The little white one and the black one. The black bucket is one of my buckets that I had for water catchment, but the bottom of it's busted. So I'm going to use it as a pot and plant something in it and put it in my big half wine barrel over here where my zucchini plant is, to help keep the zucchini plant watered and fertilized, because I've got a bunch of perpetual spinach leaves. I've got kale, collard, you name it down in here and I've got some food scraps that I'm going to put in both of these little containers. So I got to dump them out right now. Maybe back this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I got a little bit of tree bark over here I'm going to put in the very bottom. Gotta get my gloves on. I always forget to get my gloves on. And I'm telling you, it's 80 some degrees out here already, and it's humid, and I'm sweating. Oh my God, I'm sweating already. And I needed to put compost to some of my plants, and I haven't been able to do it. I've been so busy. You know, I've got compost in my compost bin over there, the one that you turn, the Miracle-Gro, and then I got compost in the big square bin that I fixed. This little container here is actually a Clorox jug, and it's got a number 2 on the bottom, so it's food safe. I got all the stems that I harvested off of the greens when I picked them this past week. That's going to go in there as well. So any of your leaves that don't look too good, break them off your plants and put them in your pots in the bottom. They make great plant food for your plants. Paper towels, they help keep the moisture in. Stick that right there for right now. Woo. And we're going to go around here to where the potatoes are. Whoops, I almost forgot my potato digging tool. Man, the blanket flowers, the Indian paint blanket flowers are so thick back here I can barely walk. But what I'm going to do is get some of the dirt out of here. And you know what? I didn't put my mask on. Anytime I'm digging in the dirt, I gotta wear a mask or it's gonna make me sick. I know it looks weird, but can't help it. I need to get this tool in case there's potatoes in here. I don't want to stick holes in my taters. Yep, see there? There's a tater. That's a white potato. And there's another one. Another one. I can't dump them because I got these sunflowers in here that came up from volunteers. So I don't know, I may not get every one of them out of here. All these roots. Of the sunflowers. There's one. There's one. Oh, look at this one. It's a pretty good sized potato. See there? About to break my digging tool trying to get the potatoes dug. They're under the roots of the sunflower. I hate to mess up the sunflower, but I gotta get my potatoes dug. So I am improving on my potato growing, y'all. Already got more potatoes and better looking potatoes this year than I did last year. Whew. It's a job. And I brought my wheelbarrow around here in case I needed to get the dirt out in the wheelbarrow temporarily. Whew. Goodness. This is a job and a half. And like I said, I tried to get out here early before it gets much hotter and before it rains. It looks like a tater right there. Yep, it is. A little one. But it's a tater. I'm afraid there's taters down in the very bottom where I'm not getting. I know there was in the other pots. One right there. Oh. The big ones seem like down at the very bottom. Whew. I don't like the way that toad is bending. But there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Oh man. Whew. See, we get this camera over a little bit. Feel like I'm standing in front of the camera. I don't know if they went all to the bottom or not. You remember I dug in the other pot totes and thought I had them all, and I kept digging in the very bottom, and that's where there was a bunch of more potatoes. Oh. Whew. Y'all, I got 4 or 5 more totes to go, and I'm all ready to give out. But I'm still finding potatoes. This one right there, if I can get to it. Pretty good sized potato. So they definitely do better if you plant them where the sun gets to them. Don't plant them in the shade like I did those other 2 over there. Of course, I did produce potatoes, but you can see these are producing a lot bigger potatoes and seem like a few more. So the plants do need sun for the potatoes to thrive. There's a big one. Well, not a real big one, but it's a good sized potato for a new potato. I hate disturbing the sunflower, but hey, I want my potatoes. There's one back over there in the bottom. No, that was a rock. I thought it was a potato. It's a little bitty rock. That's a half one that was planted. It didn't even grow. Oh. When you got them growing like this, they'll grow right up in the roots of these sunflowers. So you have to kind of dig around the roots of the sunflowers too to find your potatoes. Whew, I gotta straighten up a minute. But so far it's not too bad for just one pot. I mean, you definitely get a lot more harvest if you were planting in the ground and had more space, but this is an alternative to not being able to plant in the ground. See, that come out of one tote, y'all. One tote. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 more to go. And I'm getting filthy. I got that bucket fixed. Here, I'm going to take you around here and show you what I'm going to do with the big pot here. The bucket. Oh, if I can get over there with this tripod. Whew. I'm letting these blanket flowers go to seed before I mow all the rest of them down. But I'm going to holler out a spot right here beside this squash plant. Work it down in there. And I think I'm gonna plant me a pepper in there. And I'll do that later. Just like I got the Rose of Sharon in that little pot with that squash. I don't know, the squash, the sun hit them. And they're not doing too good. They don't like all that hot sun, I guess. Here, I already got a plant. My little bell peppers are getting big enough I can transplant them. So I'm gonna put a bell pepper plant in here. Maybe run get a little bit of water. Compost too. And y'all, this is one of the pepper plants that came up from the pepper seed I cut out of the bell pepper that I had bought. That some of the subscribers said they'll never grow. Well, guess what? There's one of them. I knew they would grow. I've planted them. I've done them that way many times before. Most of my bell pepper plants and some of them other pepper plants came from just that way last year. And I'm putting it all in the pot because it's just going to soak down in. I'm hung up in the blanket flowers, y'all. Hung up. Go ahead and water that. And let's get back around here and dig some more potatoes. I got to stake that sunflower up because the wind blew it over. I've had to stake up a bunch of them because the wind has blown them over. Oh, let's see. We got to get here to this one. See what kind of taters we got in here. If any. Oh, these are some red ones. Look at there. Got red potatoes here. Keep hitting potatoes down there, and I don't want to stick them. Look at there. I jabbed a hole in that one, and I didn't want to. So if you can dump them and get your potatoes out, it's better. That way you don't run the risk of poking them like I just did. There's one. Got several little ones in there. But that's okay because we can boil them and fry them. The little bitty ones. Here's one. That's a nice one. For a new potato, that's a good sized potato right there. I mean, all of them are okay, even the little ones. They all taste the same when you cook them. Here's another one. Try to get this dirt pushed back to the back. Because I know I left potatoes in the bottom of those other ones. And if I hadn't went back and dug down in the bottom, I never would have found all those other potatoes that were down there. And look at there, there's part of the potato that was planted that never grew. See there, there's another little one way down there in the bottom. I've probably left potatoes in this one, this first one I dug. Because I don't think I got way down in the very bottom. I think there's one right there. No, that's a piece of root or something I think I put in the bottom of the pot. Yeah, it's starting to cloud up a little bit, like it wants to rain. But digging the potatoes will, like I said, get all of this dirt in this pot or tote loosened up and ready to replant tomatoes and peppers, all kind of good stuff in. There's two. Look there. I think by the time I get finished, I'm going to have a bowl full of potatoes here. Look there, they're still attached to the root. So you see, that's why I don't worry about digging them right away. I mean, you can wait till the whole plant dies, you don't see any part of it. You can still wait a week or two unless it's really wet. And they'll continue growing while they're in the ground. But you don't want to leave them too long because then they'll rot. There's another one. I mean, this is fun when you plant something and it produces for you. It's another little one. And there's some that's so tiny that they're too little to even think about cooking because they just started on the plant. Went up in under the sun. No, that's a potato plant. That's why I was thinking that was. There's another one. Whew. Oh, look at here. This is the tote that I mixed them up. I put white potatoes and red potatoes or yellow potatoes. But look here. There's another one. There's one. There's one. There's another one. Another one. Oh, another one. I see a couple more, but they're a little bitty tiny. Oh. Got a bee. Now, like I said, I'm tripping up in these blanket flowers. Look at the bees. Like I said, you can either replant another crop of potatoes at this point, or you can plant something else in there. Totally up to you. Let's move down a little. because I got this one here. Whew. I got sweat and dripping off of me, y'all. But the doctor said I needed to sweat, so I'm sweating. I am definitely sweating. I like to dig them when the plant's dead, but you see a nub. You still see a nub sticking up like this right here. That means your potatoes are still growing that's in the ground. Look at there. Pretty sized potatoes. And several little ones. Most of them are too little, but a couple of them are big enough. And what I can do is throw some of this dirt over there, because I had quite a bit in this. More. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, I needed a little bit more dirt over there. Still don't know what this is, whether it's a squash or a melon or what it is. These greens are kind of shading it out to where you can't see anything. Sun can't get in there. Ooh, look at there. I almost skinned that one. These are my red potatoes. Yeah, it's the best to dig in with your hands if you can. That's one reason I made sure I put gloves on. That way you don't damage your potato. I just did that one, I scratched it, but that's okay. It's starting to rain, y'all, but it sure feels good. Look at there. digging up spoons. And I got quite a bit more dirt down in there, but I don't know if there's any potatoes in there. I don't see any. Yeah, there's a couple more inches of dirt. Oh. I don't think in this one they grew down in the very bottom. Don't look like. I'm not finding any way down in there. And like I said, I might could find another one or two if I could dump the bucket or dump the tote, but if there's any more down in there, they can just grow. Put that under the dirt. Whew. Now we got this one. Yeah, I'm gonna let these blanket flowers seed up, and then I'm gonna mow them down. That'll help spread the seed. You see, they're barely plants at the top, and when you pull these broken, dead spots off, you have little nubs sticking up. There, I've got one potato left right there, or the plant, one that was still alive. It was a late bloomer. Look at there. I was beginning to think there probably wasn't anything under there. And there's part of a white potato that I planted that didn't grow. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, like I do, I just try to pull it all to one side or put it in the tote next to me, where you can basically almost get down to the very bottom. Oh, there's a tater, and I was digging on it. There's another little one. Another little one. There's a good size one. On these, they seem not to go all the way to the bottom. It might have stayed too wet in the very bottom. And like I said, you can either replant potatoes, grow you a whole nother crop, and they should grow faster now than they did when I planted these back in December, because the weather's different. A little bitty one. Whew. Get that sunflower rooted in there. Whew. Well, I got a whole bowl already, and I still got more to dig. Here's one. There's one. There's another good size one. But yeah, your potatoes will keep growing for a little while after the plants die. They're still underground, absorbing up nutrients. But you don't want to leave them too long. There's another good sized one. Another one. I just love to be able to see in the very bottom. But I think it's too like clayey in the bottom and wet, the very bottom, for them to grow. I may be wrong, but so far I've not seen any in the very bottom. Like I said, I could be wrong. I thought that was one, but it was a little bitty pebble. Whew. They like water, but they don't want to stand in water. Oh, goodness me. Now where do we go? It's like I'm going to have to tie that thing up. The wind blew all of these sunflowers over. Whew. Now let's see. My container's getting full. Well, that's 3 more. So those will be ready to plant with something else. And I got this bucket here, but the bucket's not ready to be dug yet. Those potatoes are the plant is too green. And I've got potatoes in this tote right along with these greens, and I hate to dig around my greens to get the taters up, but that's the only way to get them up. See if I can get here behind them, and so you can be able to see what I'm doing. But there's one. I've probably got 15 pounds of potatoes right there already. Here's a little one. There's one. There's one there. So see, you can companion plant. You can plant something in the same deal with your potatoes, and they'll all grow together. Mosquitoes are after me. Whew. See, I had to dig that kale plant up. The potatoes were under it. But I can replant them. That's all right. I think the kale come up voluntarily in here. And I just left it. Oh. That looks like a piece of potato that tried to grow and didn't. I need longer gloves. Oh. Whew. Whew. And I know I've got taters all along in here somewhere. There. Whoops. They were competing for water. Like right at the bottom of the roots of the kale plant. There's more. Couple of little ones. And there's probably more potatoes in there, but I don't want to uproot all the kale to dig the potatoes. Whew. Oh, there's one. I'll get it. Here's another one. Oh, there's another one way at the bottom. Oh, Lordy. Well, I may just have to uproot the kale. I mean, I'm still getting potatoes. They like to grow right at the roots of the kale. And like I said, I've probably got some in the very bottom. But I really didn't want to uproot all the kale, but I guess I could. I mean, I could just uproot it and replant it. Kind of hate to do that, but make sure there's no taters in there. Well, let me just leave it here. And once I see that I can dig down some more in that pot or tote, I'll just replant them. Or try to. I don't know that there's any more in there. Yep, there is. Good size one too. Oh well, I don't think there's any more in there. I thought there'd have been a couple more down in there. maybe not. Whew. Little buddy, I'm wore out. But I got all of the potatoes dug except the one bucket. Now let's see if I can put my kale back in here. And they're really growing too close together. Need to separate some of them. Oh Lordy. This will get your back. Bending over. On an anthill. Oh. Whew. Get these picked up. I'll just water those in and they'll be fine. 4 or 5 plants in that pot is enough. Whew. Oh my goodness. I think I'm gonna put some down in that very end pot and get down there for getting tangled up in these blanket flowers. And I gotta put weed barrier cloth out for my watermelons before my watermelon vines start running all over the yard. Whew. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and replant potatoes, have another harvest by the end of the summer, and then plant again for a fall crop. I've got too many peppers and stuff that I've got to transplant pretty soon to plant more potatoes. There goes There's another little bitty potato. It's too little though. Too little to do anything with. There. So that gives me 2 more tubs of kale. And I just don't know what this is yet. I do have onions there. Whew. Look at there, I got a sunflower coming up right there. Of all places. We'll just go ahead and put it in the pot. And a tote. Maybe it'll be happy there. Yeah, I need to come out here with the mower and go ahead and mow down some of these blanket flowers here where my pots and totes are. Because it's hard to get into my pots and totes with them here. But y'all, there's my harvest of potatoes. And I'm going to put this in the compost or put it in another bucket to plant something in. And you know, we fixed this one, so I'm going to put it in one of these and maybe put some marigolds or something in it. Not sure yet. Let's see. I keep getting my tripod hung up in the blanket flowers, y'all. I could use it here. These are all, they need to be staked up, that's what I need to do. But anyway, I think that's all I got for you today. I just wanted to show you our potato harvest. That's about 15-20 pounds of potatoes in that big bowl, because that's a pretty good sized bowl. And I don't have a scale to put it on, but that's pretty big. Look at that. It's pretty deep too. Oh, I can't stand there and hold it. It's so heavy. So, with that, I'm going to end my video. Oh, plant you some potatoes, y'all. You can still plant potatoes. Like I said, I dug mine because I planted those back, what, in December, January. And you can plant another crop right now. Harvest them the end of the summer. Then plant another crop, a fall crop. Harvest them before freezing cold weather. And then you can plant more around December and January if you're in zone 8. That's what I did. Whew. So, I'm going to get cooled off a little bit, get me something to drink, get these potatoes stored away. And like I said, if you don't wash them, you just put them in an area in the shade, let them dry out a little bit from the dirt. Brush them off a little bit, store them in a cardboard box. Put them in a dark, cool room. And you can keep them for quite a while. Just don't wash them. Wait and wash them when you get ready to eat them. And with that, I'm going to wish y'all a good day. We'll see you on my next one. Bye now. Love y'all.